Welcome guys to another episode on the Extra Mile. My name is Alex and this is a very special episode. As you can see, I'm not sitting in my sim rig and I'm not sitting with a virtual reality headset here, but I'm sitting in my new ride, which is, as I've said a few times, as I've hinted a few times, a lovely old C63 AMG with the beautiful 6.2 liter V8. I will do a detailed walk around and tell you all about the specs and the features of this car, but today I thought it would be a good idea to show you some driving impressions. So before we start, let's listen to the most important part here, which is the engine. Oh my god, oh my god, guys, it sounds so good. Let's start this. Okay, enough fooling around.
Wenn möglich, bitte.
Yes, girl, we will. Oh shit, I forgot. In manual mode, it holds the gears, which is really awesome. Let's quiet it down here for a second, which is really awesome. It doesn't shift up automatically, which is something I just forgot, which is why I hit the ref limiter. First impressions are so good, guys. Let's slow down here for a little bit. Okay, there we go. So yeah, let me take you through the highlights. One of the highlights obviously is the engine. What surprised me a little bit is how quiet it is inside. It is a lot louder and more noticeable on the outside than it is on the inside here in the car. But that being said, it still makes a great noise. When we now accelerate a little bit, you can really hear it. I do have the rear seats folded down to get rid of a little bit of noise cancellation and insulation, but it still is relatively quiet. So one of the mods that I will do is definitely some exhaust work. The other thing that you notice immediately is the seating position and the seats. Both absolutely excellent. The seats are very heavily bolstered, as you can see there on the passenger seat. It's really nice. You feel really secure. You don't move around at all in the seat, which is quite awesome, I think. And they are also very comfortable. So that's great. The other thing that is immediately awesome, besides of the engine, of course, is the steering. The steering is very precise. There's no vagueness around the center whatsoever. It could be, the steering rack could be a tiny bit faster for my taste. It could turn a bit more, could be a bit more direct even. But that being said, that is really just nitpicking right now. It is really a very good steering, especially when you compare it to the electric power steering that you get in most cars these days. So that's really awesome. Another thing that's really awesome is that nice warm burble that you get even at lower speed. But as you can hear right now, you don't hear the exhaust at all almost when you drive normally. There's a slight tiny burble but and growl, but it's a bit too tame for my taste. Suspension is awesome. It's very okay. Let's listen once again. Another thing that we just saw with the automatic transmission, it uses 2 takes for downshift. So when you go from 5th to 2nd, for example, it shifts into 4th or 3rd first and then into 2nd. So it takes about 2 or 3 seconds until you really get into the right gear and until you have power. But that being said, you always have power in this car. That's what I love about big naturally aspirated engines. You don't have to wait for the turbo. The power is just there and it's immediate, and that is quite awesome. But you have to work with the transmission a little bit to be in the right gear at the right time, so you don't lose those 2 or 3 seconds. Yeah, what else? Currently we are driving on winter tires, really small winter tires. They are rated for 270 kilometers an hour, which is great because we will need that when we get on through the Autobahn in a few minutes. But they are not very wide, as I said, 245s, and that's just not enough for this amount of torque and power. So there's very little grip. The car is very neutrally balanced. Yesterday I drove up into the mountains here a little bit and tried to get it sideways a little bit, and it's very controllable. We do have the AMG limited sport differential in the back. This car does have the performance pack, so we have 487 horses instead of the regular 457. That is achieved by sharing a few parts with the SLS engine, which is codenamed M159. This is the M156, and we have the crankshaft, the pistons, rods and con rods from the SLS. All of these components are lighter than stock, and I suppose stronger as well. So that's really great. Now I will drive to the gas station because I'm in need of gas, and then I will start to record again when we are on the Autobahn and when we have some unlimited parts where we can have some fun. Maybe we will even find a buddy to play with on the Autobahn. We will see. Just for your information, in the next year I will heavily feature this car on the channel. Right now I'm recording this with GoPro, which I've strapped to my head, so I look a little bit special right now. But what I really want to do is try to capture the audio experience in the car, meaning I want to get a really good mic, install it in a really good place, so you guys can hear on the video what I hear in the car. I think in most car videos that I see on the internet, that is kind of missing a little bit. You just get a faint engine noise and not really the real experience, and I want to try to capture that. I will get a really high quality mic and an extra lav mic for my voice, and I will layer those tracks, and I want to give you a really great experience. Let me know what you think of this point of view style recording instead of a fixed view. I think it is kind of neat because it kind of mimics what you see with the virtual reality driving on my channel. So you do have the head rotation and you do have all that. I think that's kind of nice. Let's listen here. Again, we took 2 steps to downshift. Rear tires were starting to spin a little bit. Right now it's pretty cold, just a few degrees above freezing, and again we have these rather small winter tires at the back. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the summer wheels and tires. We will get a lot more width on the rears and the fronts probably. High grip semi-slick tires, so that will improve that quite a lot, I think. Anyway, that's just the first bits, the first introduction, and I will talk to you guys again when I'm on the Autobahn. So here we are driving on the Autobahn. The bit that we are getting onto right now is unrestricted, so we will see what the situation here is. Okay. Alright, here we go. So, quite a bit of traffic, as you can see. it's interesting when you're in third and accelerating in these conditions where it's pretty cold and a little bit damp on the road, you can feel the rear end starting to the differential is starting to work. It's looking for grip, it's squirming just a tiny little bit. It feels quite exciting, so to speak. Here we go. So the car is pretty healthy when it comes to acceleration. It's not super fast. I mean, I almost shouldn't say that, but I compare this to the S4 that I had before, and again that was heavily tuned, but that was really very fast. This is a little bit slower, so I have to compare it to that. But here we go, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220. It's quite quick. I can't wait to get on the racetracks next year, to the quarter-mile races. We will do all kinds of fun stuff. I want to drive at least on 4 or 5 German racetracks because, well, obviously the logistics are a bit easier. There we go. Come on, dude. Let me pass. I have to catch that Panamera. And there we go. Acceleration again is fast, but it doesn't push me back as violently in the seat as the Audi did. And that's the benefit of a supercharged engine. You get immediate torque and quite a lot of it. Come on, Panamera. You don't want to play? Okay. That's alright. So, as you can see, it gets up to speed quite quickly. Yesterday I had it up to about 270, which is the limit of the tires right now. But it felt very easy, and I'm sure the car as it is right now will easily go over 300, maybe 310 or something, maybe even maybe 310, 315 or something. But the good news is there's a lot of room for improvement. I think I want to keep this car naturally aspirated, but that still leaves about 200 horses that we can get out of this. I think 650 at least. The naturally aspirated Black Series model that had this engine, I think developed 650 horses, and that's the area where I would like to go with this car, above 600. And I want to get a lot of weight out of the car. So we will see. There's 1 year warranty, and I think I won't do anything to the car performance wise during that time, but once that year is over, we will start to fiddle with it, and I will document that process on the channel. And I of course welcome the input of you guys. If you know any cool mods or anything that you would like to see done on this car, let me know, and I'm sure we can incorporate that into the process. Weight reduction is the most important part for me, and in the next year we will do a lot of baseline tests, acceleration tests. We will weigh the car, we will set a few lap times on a few tracks where we go, we will set a few quarter-mile times, so we will have a baseline to compare the mods to. And then once that year is over and we can start to modify the car, we will see what those mods actually are worth, and we'll compare it to those baselines. So anyway, that's that for now. I will check in later with you guys when we can drive a bit faster. Okay, so we are on an unrestricted part again. That is 4th gear, And as you can see, the traction control light just went on, which is nice. And there's traffic. Very nice and firm brake pedal. I really like the brakes so far. Again, I would like to have it a little bit firmer. One cool thing that I wanted to show you guys is this. You have an AMG menu here. And what I really like is that I can see the oil temperature there. Usually you have to go to a sub-menu and another sub-menu and click something and then you get the oil temperature. Here it is just there. And I really like that I can monitor that. We do have a Porsche. Is that Cayenne or the smaller one? I don't know, but he's slower anyway. But yeah, so that's a nice little thing that we do have the oil temperature there. Again, I can even now in fourth gear, I can feel the differential working now and then when you get over a little bump and one side of the car starts to lose a tiny little bit of traction, and I really like that. And I also really like that there's a manual limited slip differential in the car. I've driven quite a few cars now with torque vectoring, including the Audi S4, and when I even hear the words torque vectoring, I get annoyed, because yes, torque vectoring helps you to keep the power on the ground by actively shifting it between the wheels or even between the axles. But what it also does is constantly change the behavior of the car. So you go into the corner in second gear, floor it, and it starts to come out nicely. Then the torque vectoring starts to happen in the Audi, I mean, and it shifts power to the inside wheel, to the front. The car changes behavior, and I really don't like that. I want the car to handle consistently, and that is what a manual or mechanical limited slip differential does. So you can get used to the way it reacts when the rear end starts to step out. Really like that here. So as you can see, more traffic, roadworks are coming up. I will check back in with you. Okay, there we see the most beautiful traffic